We entered the gateway of the palace walls to the sounds of gleeful cheering. As we made our way through the city, we received congratulations and cheers from everyone from peasant to scholar. The mood of the crowd was jubilant and upbeat. The soldiers were enjoying the praise, but most were completely exhausted and wanted to get home to rest and nurse their wounds. We came to a stop in front of a somewhat large but moderately decorated home. The armory captain turned to his men and dismissed them after praising them for their hard work. As the men dispersed to return to their own homes, the armory captain reached out to his large friend. "Not you," he said. "You're coming with us. We need to look after your injuries." As we entered his home, he was met by a woman expressing her relief on his safe return. They embraced each other momentarily as he put his hands on both sides of her face, pressing their foreheads tightly together and then stepping back. He then directed her attention to his large friend, saying, "I need you to look after my friend here. He has quite a severe injury on his shoulder." She shook her head at the quiet giant. "You think you would have learned by now? Every time you leave the palace with my husband you come back bleeding somewhere. When will you learn your lesson?" Then she motioned for him to follow her into the next room. Then the armory captain put his hand on my shoulder and said, "Follow me and I will introduce you to your new nephew." We exited the rear of his home where there was an attached small single-room structure. I grew increasingly nervous as I approached the door. He nodded his head as if to give me permission to enter. Once inside, the elderly woman took notice of us coming in. She looked to my sister-in-law sleeping alongside the infant on the floor. Reaching down, she shook her arm to wake her from her sleep. She stirred quickly and sat up to face me. Her eyes searching my face for a reassuring expression, but I had none to offer. She leapt to her feet and wrapped her arms around my neck and gave way to weeping. I was spared the pain of having to say the words, but not that of her realizing the truth of what happened. Her crying woke the small child as he began to fuss. The elderly woman scooped up the swaddled infant and she presented him to me to hold and comfort him. I was trying to hold back from crying from the intense grief we shared, but I could not hold back the tears of joy embracing my brother's son.